thigh bones stacked up in places. You'll have skulls stacked in other places.
Beneath Paris, a dark secret lurks. The Paris Catacombs, an eerie labyrinth filled with the bones of over 6 million people, holds stories of forgotten souls and a chilling history. What was once a necessity has become a terrifying underground world. But what happens when the dead are disturbed? Are they simply resting, or is there something far darker at play? Don't miss the shocking truth behind the mystery of the catacombs. Watch till the end to uncover it all. The hidden darkness. Paris, the city of light, is known for its beauty, culture, and history. But beneath its glamorous streets, there lies a hidden darkness. It's a mystery that few truly understand, and fewer still dare to explore. Below the bustling cafes, elegant shops, and romantic walkways, Paris hides a secret, an underground labyrinth of tunnels that is home to millions of human bones.
If that is the case, after a certain amount of time, individuals are going to get dug back up to create space for new burials. Then you have to do something with those bones.
This is the Paris Catacombs, a place so eerie and mysterious that it's hard to believe it exists in such a lively and vibrant city. The catacombs stretch beneath the city for miles, containing the remains of over 6 million Parisians. These bones are stacked in endless layers, forming walls of human remains that are almost impossible to comprehend. It's as if the dead are still watching over the city, buried deep in the earth. The bones are not just randomly piled. In some places, they are arranged with care, sometimes even artistically. They tell a story of death, memory, and how a city dealt with the overwhelming need for burial space. The catacombs were not always open to the public. Originally, they were used as a solution to a problem. Paris had run out of space for burials. In the late 18th century, the city's cemeteries were overflowing. The solution? To relocate the bones from these crowded cemeteries into the underground tunnels. Over time, the catacombs became a symbol of death and a reminder of the fragile nature of life itself. Today, the Paris Catacombs serve as both a historical site and a chilling reminder of what lies beneath the surface of the world's most romantic city. While millions of tourists visit each year, few can truly grasp the eerie feeling that comes with walking among the bones of the past, wondering if the darkness below will ever truly be understood. A city of bones, Paris, with its iconic landmarks, bustling streets, and rich history, holds a darker secret beneath its surface. While millions live and work above ground, the city's underground is home to something far more unsettling. Beneath the streets lies a vast network of tunnels, the Paris Catacombs, that contain the remains of over 6 million people. These bones, stacked in neat formations and scattered throughout the tunnels, have transformed the catacombs into a macabre reminder of Paris's past. The idea of a city built on bones might seem unbelievable to most, but this is exactly what Paris has become. The catacombs were once quarries used to mine limestone for the construction of the city, but by the late 1700s, the cemeteries of Paris had become dangerously overcrowded.
Of skeletons, some with bits of clothing hanging off of them. It's a whole network of tunnels, really.
As a solution, the bones from the city's graveyards were moved to the tunnels, forming an underground city of the dead. Today, the catacombs are a famous tourist attraction, yet they remain a symbol of the city's darker side. Walking through the tunnels, visitors come face to face with walls made entirely of bones, skulls staring blankly out at them from the shadows. It's an eerie and haunting experience that reminds us how fragile life truly is. The bones, neatly arranged, tell the story of the people who once walked above these very streets, whose lives now live on only in their final resting place beneath the city. Paris may be known as the City of Light, but just below the surface, there's a city of bones, where the dead silently witness the life that continues above them. Architectural horrors. The Paris Catacombs are not just a mass grave. They are a chilling architectural marvel that tells a disturbing story of how the city dealt with death and limited space. As you walk through the tunnels, you encounter more than just stacked bones. There is an eerie sense of design and arrangement, as if someone had carefully planned the placement of the remains. Some areas are meticulously arranged, with bones forming decorative patterns or even entire sculptures. The catacombs, though dark and unsettling, reveal a strange beauty in the way the bones are displayed. Unlike traditional cemeteries where bodies are buried in simple graves, the bones in the catacombs are treated almost like artwork. Some sections feature skulls arranged in neat rows, while thigh bones are stacked to form walls.
They're going to get rid of the old bones, and they don't want to have this problem again. I would question whether the Paris Catacombs are respectful to the dead or not.
In other places, bones are arranged to create arches, alcoves, and even entire corridors that resemble something from a Gothic nightmare. The care with which the bones are arranged raises an uncomfortable question. Is it an act of respect, or is it an eerie form of decoration? Despite the macabre nature of this underground world, the catacombs are a work of architectural ingenuity. They are not simply tunnels filled with the bones of the dead. They are a complex network that connects to other parts of the city. What was once a solution to a practical problem, overcrowded cemeteries, has become a haunting testament to the lengths people will go to when confronted with death. As you wander through these dark corridors, it's impossible not to feel the presence of the millions who came before, their bones silently telling a story of death, art, and the fragility of life itself. Bones as art in the Paris Catacombs. Bones are not simply a burial ground. They are transformed into something almost artistic. As you walk through the tunnels, it becomes clear that the bones of the deceased have been arranged with a strange and unsettling sense of creativity. What was originally a practical solution to overcrowded cemeteries has evolved into an eerie display of human remains, carefully arranged to form walls, arches, and even entire sculptures. The bones are not just piled in random heaps. In many places, they are arranged with purpose and precision. Skulls are stacked in patterns, while other bones are used to create decorative shapes or outlines. In some sections, the arrangement of the bones seems almost intentional, like an artistic installation in a dark and macabre gallery. It's as if the people who created this underground labyrinth saw the bones not just as the remains of the dead, but as a medium to express something deeper, something almost artistic. The concept of bones as art is deeply unsettling, especially when you consider the cultural and religious significance of death and burial. In most cultures, the idea of disturbing the dead for aesthetic purposes is taboo. Yet in the catacombs, the bones are not only preserved, but arranged in ways that resemble artwork. Whether it's a grim reflection on the passage of time or an attempt to bring beauty to death, the catacombs force us to confront the idea of mortality in a way that few other places do. The bones, arranged as art, challenge us to rethink how we view death and memory and what happens to our bodies when we're no longer around. Empire of the Dead. Over the entrance to the Paris Catacombs, a chilling inscription reads, "Stop, this is the Empire of the Dead." This sign sets the tone for what lies beneath the streets of Paris, an eerie underground world that is both a historical archive and a graveyard for millions. The phrase Empire of the Dead is more than just a label. It reflects the immense scale and haunting nature of the catacombs. The catacombs stretch for miles under the city, containing the remains of over 6 million people. As you enter, it feels as though you've crossed into a separate realm, one where the living have little control and where the dead hold dominion. The empire here is not one of wealth or power, but one of silence and stillness, where bones are the only rulers. The catacombs remind us of the fragility of life and the inevitable fate that awaits us all, casting a shadow over the city above that still looms today. The need for space. In the late 18th century, Paris faced a crisis that many cities still struggle with today, a lack of space for the dead. As the population grew, so did the number of deaths, and the city's cemeteries became overcrowded. The graves were no longer able to accommodate the increasing number of corpses, leading to unsanitary conditions and public health concerns. This desperate need for space led to the creation of the Paris Catacombs. With traditional burial grounds overflowing, the bones of the deceased were exhumed and moved into the underground tunnels. The catacombs became an urgent solution to a growing problem, providing a place to store the bones and manage the dead more efficiently. While the catacombs served a practical purpose, they also marked a significant shift in how Paris viewed and handled death. What began as a matter of necessity transformed into one of the most haunting and mysterious places in the world. The catacombs' origins. The origins of the Paris Catacombs date back to the late 18th century, when the city faced an overwhelming issue with its cemeteries. With graveyards reaching full capacity, the authorities were forced to find a new solution for the mounting number of bodies. By 1780, the decision was made to begin moving the bones from the crowded cemeteries into an underground network of tunnels.
We stopped buried corpses in 1780, and in 1785, we began to transport bones in this place, which were at that time in the suburb of Paris.
The catacombs were initially part of the city's ancient quarries, a vast system of underground passages that had been carved out over centuries. These tunnels, once used for mining, were repurposed to house the remains of the deceased. In 1785, bones were first moved into the catacombs, and over the following years, millions of remains were transferred, making it a monumental project that spanned decades. The catacombs were not just a solution to overcrowding, but also a reminder of how urbanization and population growth can create unforeseen challenges. What began as a practical necessity turned into one of Paris's most eerie and historically significant landmarks: relocating the dead. The relocation of the dead to the Paris Catacombs was a massive and chilling undertaking that began in the late 18th century. As the city's cemeteries became overcrowded and unsanitary, the authorities decided to exhume the remains of millions of Parisians and transport them to the underground tunnels. The process was carried out with great care, as bones were carefully removed from the cemeteries and placed in the catacombs below. This relocation effort was not just about creating more space, it was a practical solution to a growing public health crisis. Once the bones were moved, the catacombs became a place where the deceased could be preserved out of sight, though not out of mind. The bones were stacked in the tunnels, creating a vast and eerie collection of human remains. The task of moving so many bodies to the catacombs was as much a logistical feat as it was a morbid necessity, marking the beginning of a dark chapter in Paris's history. A grim transformation. The transformation of the bones within the Paris catacombs is both eerie and fascinating. What was initially a practical solution to a public health crisis soon became an unsettling work of art that blurred the lines between respect for the dead and macabre creativity. As bones were moved into the catacombs, they were not simply piled up haphazardly. In many cases, they were arranged in intricate patterns, some forming strange designs, others resembling eerie sculptures. This grim transformation of human remains into a form of decoration reflects the complex attitudes towards death during that time. While the bones were meant to be preserved and hidden from view, they were also treated with a certain level of organization and, in some cases, artistic flair. The catacombs thus became a strange blend of both utility and artistry, an underground mausoleum where the dead were treated with a form of respect, but also subjected to a bizarre and chilling reimagining of burial practices.
If you think about it, the Paris catacombs are a pretty grim reminder that we have no control over what happens to our bones after we die.
The transformation of these remains into something resembling art remains one of the most unsettling aspects of the catacombs to this day: desecration or respect. The question of whether the relocation of bones to the Paris catacombs was an act of desecration or respect for the dead remains a controversial and thought-provoking issue. On one hand, the catacombs were created as a solution to the overcrowded cemeteries, a necessary step to preserve public health and provide space for the living. The bones were moved to a place where they could be safely stored away from the city, allowing Paris to move forward without the risk of contamination from the decaying remains. On the other hand, the method in which these bones were treated, sometimes stacked in piles, sometimes arranged into artistic formations, has raised questions about whether the dead were given the respect they deserved. Some believe that this practice desecrated the souls of the deceased, turning their final resting place into an unsettling display. Others argue that the bones were handled with a certain level of reverence, as they were not simply discarded, but carefully relocated and organized. This debate continues to echo through the centuries, leaving us to ponder whether the catacombs are a fitting memorial to the dead or a dark reminder of how death is sometimes treated with unsettling indifference. Malevolent force. According to local legend, the relocation of so many bones into the Paris catacombs unleashed a dark and malevolent force that still haunts the tunnels today. Some believe that by disturbing the resting places of so many souls, the builders of the catacombs inadvertently unleashed an evil presence that now lurks beneath the city. The idea of this malevolent force adds a layer of mystery and fear to the already unsettling atmosphere of the catacombs. Visitors who venture into the catacombs often report strange sensations, such as a feeling of being watched, an overwhelming sense of dread, or even a sudden chill that seems to come from nowhere. While these experiences may be attributed to the eerie setting and the sheer number of human remains, many locals and visitors alike continue to believe in the supernatural presence that some say haunts these tunnels. The notion of a dark force residing in the catacombs only adds to the legends that surround this grim underground world. making it even more frightening for those who dare to explore its depths. The final resting place. The Paris Catacombs serve as a grim reminder that we have little control over what happens to our bodies after death. While the living go about their daily lives above ground, the catacombs remain a silent and haunting final resting place for over 6 million people. The bones of the deceased lie stacked in endless tunnels, a testament to the passage of time and the inevitability of death. Despite the eerie and unsettling nature of the catacombs, they also offer a sense of permanence. The bones are not forgotten. They remain preserved in the dark depths of the city, a part of Paris's history and legacy. For some, the catacombs are a place of reflection, a reminder of human mortality, while for others, they are a chilling symbol of how society once dealt with its dead. Regardless of how one views them, the catacombs stand as the final resting place of millions, untouched by time, yet eternally intertwined with the city above. As you've seen, the Paris Catacombs hold secrets too dark to ignore. But this is just the beginning. Our next video will take you on an expedition unlike any other. Join us as we explore the chilling world of Franklin's expedition. What happened to one of history's most mysterious journeys? Don't miss out on this spine-tingling adventure. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of the mystery. See you in the next video.